Okay, this is the video key for converting to Vertex Form, last night's homework. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to do all of these or not, but again, the whole key will be posted online as well. All right, so today's last day of March, 2020. Converting to Vertex Form from both standard form and from factored form. Remember, Vertex Form is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Okay. So we need three important things here. We need to figure out what a is, figure out what h is, and figure out what k is, and then plug those in. So basically just find the vertex and then turn it into vertex form. All right, from standard form, the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to find, first thing we could identify a right away. A is always a number in front, and it's never going to change between the three forms. So the a value is 2. The second thing we could find the axis of symmetry. Okay. Remember, the axis of symmetry is your h value. Okay. All right, so axis of symmetry form is the opposite of b over 2a. Okay. Well, b is negative 8. So the opposite of negative 8 is positive 8, divided by 2 times the a value, 2 times 2. Okay. That's going to give us 8 divided by 4, which is 2. All right, so we know what h is. Now we need to figure out what k is. All right. If you want to find k, you're going to plug in and find f of 2. Okay. Why 2? Well, 2 is what we just found for h. Okay, that's the x value of the vertex. We need the y value of the vertex, which is k. So we plug in 2 for every x value. 2 times 2 squared minus 8 times 2 plus 9. Okay. That's 4, 8 minus 16 is negative 8 plus 9, which is 1. So that is your k value. All right, so we know a, we know h, we know k. Just plug it into vertex form. Y equals, or f of x equals, the a value goes out front, x minus the h value, okay, so x minus 2 squared, and then plus the k value. The k value is 1 plus 1. Okay. That's vertex form. We'll do the next one. Okay. The a value here, there's not a number in front of x squared, but there is a negative, so it's negative 1. Okay. Find the axis of symmetry. Okay. The opposite of b is negative 6, so it's going to be 6 over 2 times a, which is negative 1. So we have an axis of symmetry of 6 over negative 2, which is negative 3. And again, that's h. Okay. Now we got to find the y value of the vertex. We're going to find f of h. Okay, but again, h is negative 3, so we're finding f of negative 3. So careful with the negatives here. You got negative 3 squared minus 6 times negative 3 minus 7. Negative 3 squared, remember order of operations, you have to do the negative first. So negative 3 squared is 9, but then the negative up front makes it negative 9. Negative times a negative, negative 6 times negative 3 is positive 18, minus 7. Okay. So negative 9 plus 18 is 9, minus 7 is 2. That's your k value. Okay. So we know a, we know h, and we know k, so we're going to plug them into the formula. Y equals a was negative 1. You can put a negative 1, or you can just put the negative sign. X minus h. Okay, so x minus negative 3. Okay. Minus negative 3 is plus 3 squared. Okay. Plus k, k is 2, so plus 2. All right, so that's vertex form from standard form. Okay. Now let's go into vertex form from factored form. Okay. For factored form, you have a similar process. You have to find the vertex. Okay. So we're going to start by finding the x-intercepts. Okay. The x-intercepts in this one are, again, it's always the opposite in factored form, so it's going to be 5 and negative 1. Okay. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to find the axis of symmetry. We could find the axis of symmetry because we know the x-intercepts. The axis of symmetry has to be right between the two x-intercepts. So you add them together, 5 plus negative 1 divided by 2. 5 plus negative 1 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay. Now again, that's your h. To find your k, you're going to have to plug 2 in for x. So you're going to have to find f of 2, which is going to be the y value of the vertex. Okay. So it's always this order: x-intercepts, axis of symmetry, plug in the axis of symmetry, and then let's figure out what a is. All right, so we're going to plug in 2 for x. So 2 minus 5 times 2 plus 1. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. 2 plus 1 is positive 3. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. That's k. Okay. Last thing we'll have to do is identify what a is. A is always whatever's in front in factored form. In this case, there's nothing in front, okay, which is implied to be a 1. Okay. All right, so we know a, we know h, and we know k. Again, just plug it in. Y equals a, which is 1, so you don't have to put anything. X minus h, so x minus 2 squared, plus k. Okay. Now in this case, k is negative 1, so you can put plus negative 9. It's negative 9. You can put plus negative 9, or you could put just minus 9. Okay, minus 9 is a little more proper. All right, same things on the next one. Start with the x-intercepts. Okay. The x-intercepts are negative 12 and positive 2. Move on to the axis of symmetry. Oops. Okay. Add those two x-intercepts together, divide by 2. Okay. So negative 12 plus 2 divided by 2 is negative 5. Okay. Plug it in. So plug in negative 5 for x. Okay. Bring it 1/2 times negative 5 plus 12 times negative 5 minus 2. Looks like this is going to be a fraction. So I got 1/2 times 7 times negative 7, which is going to give you negative 49 divided by 2. Okay. All right, so that's your k value. Remember the axis of symmetry was h. The y value of the vertex is k. And then last thing we need is we need to identify a. Well, a is always the number in front. The number in front on this one is 1/2, so a is 1/2. Okay. Put it all together. Y equals a, 1/2, times x minus h, Okay, now again, this one's minus and negative, minus -5, so plus 5 squared, and then plus k. In this case, minus 49 over 2. Okay. Not as pretty as other ones, but it's vertex form. Alright, like always, PDF will be online. This video will be online. Check Google Classrooms. Once you're comfortable with this, go ahead and take the mini quiz.